Okay, so our instructions are to reflect triangle ABC over the line using the circle with center through point tool as your compass. Use the polygon tool to create triangle ABC prime. Okay, so we're going to use this tool right here, the circle with center through point as our compass, just because the way GeoGebra is set up, but normally you would be using a compass. It's the same thing. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to click on my circle with center point tool, and I'm going to click on A because that's going to be my center, so I'm going to start there. So I start on A, and then as I drag out, I start to see a circle being formed, just like you would on Delta Math. So once I get to where I see my circle touches the line twice, I can stop. So I'm going to stop right here and click. So now at this point, I'm going to come over to my intersect tool because I want it to show me the two places that it intersected. So I'm going to click on my line that I'm reflecting over, and then I'm going to click on my circle. So it gave me 2 points, G and H. Great. So now I'm going to come back to my circle with center point tool, and I'm going to now have one of these points be my center point. So I'm going to drag out my point to my original point because this is measuring the radius from G to H. So if I have the distance from G to A, excuse me, it's measuring the distance from G to A, I'll have that distance right there. So now I'm going to do the same thing from click on H for my center, drag out to A. So now what I've done is my two circles that I just put around H and G make an intersection point exactly across at the point where A would be reflected over. So I'm going to click on my intersect tool, and I'm going to come over here and click, click, and that gives me my new point. So now this is a lot of circles. So we have to do this for each point. So now I'm going to come up to my hide tool, and I'm going to click on the circles that I've made to go away, and also these points on the line that I don't need anymore. Okay. And then once I do that, I can click on any other tool and they will hide. If one of them stays on the line, that's okay, just being aware of what point we're looking at. Okay, so now we're going to do it again. I'm going to click on my circle point tool. I'm doing the exact same process, just over and over. So I'm going to start at C, and I'm going to drag out till I see my circle cross at 2 points. So right now it's crossing there and up there. So I'm going to click, and then I'm going to make my intersect of those 2 points. So I click on my circle and on my line. So it gives me L and M. So now I need to come back to my center point, and I'm going to go through, I'm going to start with M and go to my point C. I'm going to start at L. So right here, I got a little bit confused and I almost went to G, but the way I can check myself is if there isn't a circle going through it, that means that's a point I'm not worried about right now. So I'm going to come up to this point, and my point will go to C. So now I see my two intersecting points. So I'll click on intersect and click on my two big circles, and that'll give me my next point. I'm going to go back to hide to clean this up for myself. So I'm just going to click on all the circles that are not highlighted, that aren't light basically. If it doesn't let you click on a point, that's fine. You can just leave it. All right, and then I'm going to come back to my circle tool. All right, last one. So I'm going to click, I have basically my compass, start at B, drag out till I see it twice on my line. If I get too big, I'm not going to be able to see those intersections. So I'm going to come down here, click there, I go to my intersect tool, click on my circle, click on my line. So I have Q and R right now that I need to do my compass with. So I go to my compass tool. Remember, now we're going to go the points on the line. So I'm going to go Q to B and then R to B. So when I see that happen, I see a point over here pop up. So I'm going to click on my intersect tool for my 2 circles. And then I have my point. If you want, at this point, you could go through and do your hide tool if you like. If it's too much once you click on all those and you don't know where to click, that's fine. You can just leave it on there. It doesn't really matter. But now we're going to do our polygon tool. So I'm going to click on my polygon tool. And remember, I'm not doing any points on the line. I only want these points over here. So I'm going to go from each of the points that we reflected over. And remember, we always need to come back to our original point. And I've reflected my shape over the line. All right. If you ever mess up, please use the delete button, or you can do this undo button. And if you really want to start over, if you click this little circle right here, it'll bring you back to where we started. But I would always just click the undo button once. You can always click redo or use the trash can. You click on the trash can and then you can click on a point and it'll delete it for you, okay? But if you accidentally do something like that and it messes up, just click undo right here and it pops back up. All right, let me know if you have any questions.